All right, you ready to roll?
Yep.
You ready to go?
Yep.
Woo! Ha ha! Late ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, coming with another wonderful episode of Loungin. That's right, I am here. NERDSoulite is here, and we are joined by Lady Lisa. Say what's up.
Hey, y'all.
So, we made it. Another week. We done did it. You here. We here. I'm glad to see your sunshiny faces. Now, big shout out to Cooley High in the chat. What up, fam? Nice to see you. Big shout out to everybody. Also, first, big shout out to Patreon supporters. Wanted to give us a shout out. I haven't shouted y'all out in a minute. Enrique Carry On, Thought Crimes, Panda, Jamal Lee, Tyler, Tim I. You guys are awesome. Like, you guys help to create some dope stuff. So, with that said, also shouts out to like Alan Lewis, who usually be in the chat, Tracy Lee, all y'all cool. We here. Jenna James, all y'all. We here. So, I'd like to start off with some. Do we have some good news?
I think we have mostly good news, don't we? No.
No.
Never mind.
You know what? Good news is you're in good health. We're in good health.
That's
We're
right.
gonna go forward.
You're in good hands with Allstate. Yeah.
All states have it. Kids going back to school in Georgia is not really going like they planned.
Oh, well, did they plan? That's the thing. See, to say that is to say that they planned anything.
Well, the idea was they gonna go back and it's gonna be all right.
Yep.
Now, honestly, most of this show, we call it, NERDSoul Lounging. We just chilling, hanging, talking about what's going on in the world. But it could be called I Told You So. Because I've been telling folks, it's too early. People are going to get sick. It's not going to be good. It's going to be worse. And people are going to die. What happened? It was too early. People got sick. We ain't had no deaths yet because it's still too early. But we don't know. You know what I'm saying? The death rate on this thing is still around 3%. So it's just it's not a good look. So Georgia high school, kids going back. Some people decide to take a photo of the hallway.
Yep.
Photo goes viral. Shows that there's no social distancing. Shows that there's barely any masks.
You know why there were barely any masks?
Why was that?
Because they were given the choice.
They were given the choice.
The choice. You have a choice of whether to wear a mask or not. Because this is the thing. Y'all got 1,000,005 different rules because I know it's high school. I know.
Yeah.
Y'all got 1,000,005 different rules that really don't matter.
Yeah.
Really don't matter.
Mean
the
nothing.
skirt needs to be kneeling. Look.
Mean nothing.
You got all of these different rules to do stuff that don't matter.
True that.
But the one thing that really, really, really does matter right now, we'll give you a choice.
We'll give you a choice.
Now your skirt can't be too short, and your hair can't be purple. But hey, you don't need a mask in the middle of a pandemic.
Deteriorate your health and/or kill you, or maybe a family member. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Big shout out to Tay 1990 in the chat. Photo goes viral. And all of a sudden, the school board want to be like, if you spreading photos, you're going to get suspended or expelled. Why? There's nothing wrong, right? Why are you mad at us? Because we're just showing a picture of your fine establishment.
They said it was taken.
Didn't feel any shame at all.
Yeah.
You wouldn't care nothing about this photo going viral.
They said it was taken out of context. Well, how was a picture taken out of context?
This is how they said it was taken out of context. During class change in a short period of time, so the kids ain't together that long. How long do you think a virus? Maybe it takes a virus. Maybe viruses only work when class is in session and not in the hallways. Virus don't care nothing about that, dude. A virus will work any time of the day, no matter where you at. If that was the case, kids wouldn't get sick in school like that. They be like, y'all went to school. I ain't never get sick. I'm good. You want to know why? Because virus takes class breaks off. Look, man, this is...
we're in the Twilight Zone. We're officially in the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, we in the Twilight Zone.
We are in the upside down.
You know it's bull. I know it's bull. We can all see it, but for some reason, we allow people to just perpetrate it. I don't know. It's tripping. So in Cherokee County, there was an elementary school where they had kids come together. You know, kids, they don't know about hygiene yet. They little. All right, they be snotting. You know, boogalets coming all out of their nose. Indeed. You know what I'm saying? Not half washing their hands, playing in the sink.
Why you gotta wash your hands? You just wipe it on your pants, or if y'all are sitting down on the carpet, hey, somebody's right in front of you. Just wipe it on her. She'll never know.
Wiping it on the carpet, wiping it on your shirt.
Hey.
People don't care. So, kid gets sick. Then all of a sudden, they got to quarantine all 20 kids, all the staff, everything. Want to know why? Because that kid has now probably contaminated. Because kids don't be distancing. Some kindergarten kids, you think they distancing? No, they're high-fiving each other, giving each other hugs, sharing toys and stuff, coughing each other's face. Kids be coughing kids be coughing like they trying to pass a virus. They be like,
they cough like they already have a plague.
Yeah, they be coughing like they're trying to get you sick. So, guess what? I'm pretty sure more than one child just has it. And remember, there might be some kids that have it and are asymptomatic. Take it home to grandma. Take it home to Ma Dukes, your sister, your dad, whoever.
Not to mention the staff in these schools. See, they aren't concerned about either.
Family members and loved ones that they have to take it home to. Y'all look, hey, y'all doing some dumb stuff.
We are too much in a place technology-wise for us to do this foolishness. Technology allows for everybody to be, doing this. And if you didn't have it prepared, you had all of this time to prepare it, to go to your, board of education, to go to your local government and say, hey, we need the resources to make this happen virtually. Like, I don't understand. This is so irresponsible and just...
This is... I'm not going to say it's irresponsible.
Oh, it's irresponsible.
It's more than that. We know this virus is serious. We know it's deadly. We know it's killing people. It's killed over 50,000 people now in America alone. This is what I would say negligence on level bordering like involuntary manslaughter. Like this is... We know the virus is dangerous, right?
Yep.
We know people got it and are asymptomatic and able to pass it, right? Mm-hmm. We have the ability to do school from home, but we're going to force the kids to go anyway and put them in more danger. Like I could see if this was a situation where we had it down and we hadn't seen a new case of coronavirus in say the last 3-4 weeks. Anywhere around the country now, be like, yo, man, we kind of got this. Mm-hmm. Word up. We good. And what up, Jamal Lee in the house? What up? What up? Nice to see you, Markeith Collins. What up? What up? What's goody? It's like, we know it's stupid. You know it's stupid. I know it's stupid. Everybody knows it's stupid. But somehow the people in charge are still able to do this. I would say, because there was a girl that shared the photo, and now she's not suspended anymore.
Magically.
Magically.
AKA lawyers called the school and was like, fix it.
She called it good trouble, which is funny.
No, I like that. I'm really proud of her for that.
Yeah.
She was listening, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to do it because it's the thing to do. And I like that.
Yeah, and I'm not mad at that. What I do is take it a step further. Every kid who doesn't want to be in danger of this virus, don't go to school. Learn virtually. And if they won't let you learn virtually, just stay home. What they're going to do, expel all of you? They can't do that. You know they can't do, because their class attendance and their school attendance is tied to what? Money. All the money. So they talk that expulsion mess. But if 500-600 kids decide we ain't coming, you ain't expelling all 600 kids. You know you ain't.
But you know
They
the problem
need to pull
though.
their card.
You know the problem though. Parents aren't gonna be okay with that because parents freak out and like, oh God, parents, perfect attendance, and I'm like, who cares? That's a whole other issue. But why? Who cares about? You don't have perfect attendance when you go to work. So why I need to have perfect attendance when I go to school?
People be acting like perfect attendance is a big deal. I'm like, so you existing? You get an award because you was here? What did you do when you was here?
It's like,
you don't care about your perfect attendance. That's like people that always want to give Kyle Ripken props.
I understand that, you're trying to teach the kids that it's important to show up to school. It's important and you commit to going. But it's a little, because my thing is, if we were to put Mikey in school, it's like, okay, it's your birthday. We want to take him on a trip. Yeah. He ain't going to be in school tomorrow. Well, what about his perfect attendance? He can't have perfect attendance. His attendance will not be perfect. I will let you know that now. It will not be. There will be times when we go places and live, and he won't be here.
Thank you. And big shout out to Moses in the chat. I see you, kid. Oh man!
But the thing is, the children can't read, so
the children can't read yet, so they good. They notice. He's smart. They notice certain things though.
Yeah, he's smart, but
he be like Sesame Street.
Yeah, that's true.
Spider Man. Yeah. He be like Potter Man.
Potter Man.
Shouts to Alan Lewis. So with that said, I got to get back on my high horse about homeschooling because this about us. I can't do nothing with their kids. You know what I'm saying? This about us. Ain't that right? You ain't going back?
He watching Potter Man.
He watching Potter Man. Anyway, this about us. And I've been saying, in many cases, we have already been homeschooling our children due to the end of the last school year. If you can, I would urge you to at least consider homeschooling your children, taking them out of this system that is already on the prison, school to prison pipeline. That's one thing. Now you're putting their health in danger and yours in danger. It's not worth it. But the good thing is that I got a chance to talk with the folks from RBG Academy that are doing an event tomorrow online virtually where you can come, ask questions, talk about curriculums, things of that nature. And got to talk with a young lady, Jonte, that runs the service. She's super dope, and she has a message for you guys. I'm gonna run it for y'all because I really think it's worth some serious consideration taking our kids out of the system. So I'm gonna hit y'all with this video. We'll be back in just a second.
What's up, NERDSoul? It is Janae Gardner from RBG Academy. I wanted to thank you for all of the attention you are bringing to the cause of Black homeschooling. I feel like now is the time we really need to be seizing this opportunity to invest in our children by educating them ourselves. I am a homeschooler of 12 years, and I have since about 4 years ago started RBG Academy, where we learn our story together and we learn subjects that are relevant to our community. So anyway, this weekend I wanted to invite you, NERDSoul, your crew, and all your followers to the RBG Blackticum. It's Saturday, August 8th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Really, Pacific time. If you have East Coast followers, please tell them don't log in at 10. We are on Pacific time. No one's getting up that early. But anyway, I would love to see you guys there. Let's discuss issues surrounding Black homeschooling. We can talk about how to choose our curriculum. We're talking about how to build community. Hey, man, it's going to be a live discussion. And it is a free event. So, hey, come join us. Bring your insight, bring your wisdom, bring your questions, and bring your heart. Yeah, I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for checking us out.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So, like I said, y'all, it's worth considering. I'm going to place the link in the chat as well, so you guys can go check it out. And also, place the link after the live stream in the description. So you'll have the link in the description, you'll have the link in the comments in the video, and I just placed the link in the chat for it. If you have children that are in the system and you've always wanted a way to kind of migrate them into homeschooling or figure out ways to, this will be a great opportunity to get some knowledge from folks that have been, homeschooling 12 plus years.
Or if you have a child that isn't quite school age and you want to kind of get some information and, start thinking about it now.
Yeah, definitely, because if your kid, say your kid is, 3, 4, they getting close, hey, I would much rather you or someone like you molding your child than, putting our children in their hands. You know what I'm saying? Because when they in their hands, ain't nothing we can do but just hope and pray that they treat them fairly. And I think that the evidence suggests
that's not the best way to go.
that they don't know how to do that. So with that said, big shout out to RBG Academy. I'll be there tomorrow checking it out. Lady Lisa will be in there and just asking questions, speaking about it. We've already decided that we are homeschooling our son and any subsequent children. Oh man, any gonna be any more kids? So with that said, I did want to move on to a little tidbit. A tidbit that I thought was funny, and I'd like you to read it, if you will. The article from Louisiana. Louisiana, you know how they do.
Yeah.
A big shout out to Jenna James before we get going. Big shout out to you. I saw you come through on the Black Panther talk. Well, I'll respond on that later. But if you can, please break down the article for them because I think it's an interesting read.
Okay, so this is OccupyDemocrats.com. News analysis. White judges on Louisiana Supreme Court uphold life sentence for black man who stole hedge clippers 20 years ago. And correction in the title, he didn't even successfully steal them. This is on August 7th, 2020. In many parts of the country, there is no justice, in quotes, to be found in our, quote, criminal justice system, which by and large operates as an essential part of the white supremacist superstructure, designed to funnel black Americans into the carceral state based on the most monstrously unjust pretensions of criminality. To this day, the police and the courts work hand in hand to keep black people in jail forever. Now, nowhere is there more flagrant than in the Deep South, where the Supreme Court of Louisiana has unanimously to uphold the life sentence of a black man, Fairwayne Bryant, who was convicted of stealing a pair of hedge clippers. 62 years old, Bryant has already served 20 years in prison for
stealing hedge trimmers.
For the 1997 charge of attempted
stealing.
Simple burglary. Attempted simple burglary.
I'm going to jump off you in a second, but drop the knowledge on them.
But that didn't stop the Supreme Court, which is almost entirely white men, from upholding his life sentence. The one dissenting judge, Chief Justice Burnett Johnson, who just so happened to be the one black woman on the court, wrote that, quote, the sentence imposed is excessive and disproportionate to the offense.
Extremely excessive.
To the offense the defendant committed. That is the understatement of the century.
Year. And there have been some understatements this year.
Quote, if he lives another 20 years, Louisiana taxpayers will have paid almost $1 million to punish Mr. Bryant for his failed effort to steal a set of hedge clippers. This man's life sentence for a failed attempt to steal a set of 3 hedge clippers is grossly out of proportion to the crime and serves no legitimate penal purpose.
Bruh, it doesn't. All it does is serve to let you guys know that we still control you. We control the justice system, and we do what we want with you. That's all it serves to do. But the reason I thought that article was so interesting is that just recently, and I can't remember the name of these boys, two of these boys on YouTube did a prank. Let's see if I can find their name real quick. Let's see. But they did a prank about robbing a bank, right? So they're robbing a bank. They're running around. And people think that they're armed and dangerous. They jump up in a Uber. He won't drive them because he's scared for his life. He's, Alan and Alex Stokes. He's scared that, he'll be in danger. People around them are running away from them because they think they're in danger too. They ski masked up everything. Peep this. They get caught by the police and they get a stern talking to. Now, you think that as these, young, the white Asianish, YouTubers that are like all, handsome and cute and all the young tweens watching all the time, you think they'd be like, yo, man, the cops came around. Maybe we should chill a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we should kick it. Now, you bugging. Now, they would have thought, man, you know what? Maybe we was tripping. Let's chill. The cops came out. Jig is up, right? Nah. The same day they go back out and perpetrate the same prank again. They just got charges filed.
No,
this man been in jail. I thought the DA actually filed charges. After the second time.
Oh, okay.
So it took them 2 times creating public panic over a false bank robbery, as opposed to some hedge trimmers that nobody knew about. It took all of that public panic twice just to get charges. We ain't going to court. They're not going to go to court. We already know the answer to this. It's going to be settled out of court. It'll be fine. But all this, and they walking around free, making videos laughing about it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I thought was so funny. I was like, yo, didn't some boys just pretend like a second ago? I got you off. You good. Didn't some boys just pretend just a second ago, to rob a bank where people was running around and scared, jumping up in an Uber? Everything was cool, right? Everything was fine. This man stole some hedge trimmers. 3 hedge trimmers. What is that? I don't know what. You know what? We got a couple seconds because we only got one more story. Let me go to Lowe's real quick. Okay, Lowe's, bet you ain't on. So
I didn't
know,
go. Honey. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know
sorry,
when you get. I was just letting you know. I wanted to catch up with you so you could be heard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me read this other section of the article where it says Chief Justice Johnson argued that the sentence is a modern manifestation of the pig laws, which I had never heard of. Pig laws that Southern whites created in the post-Reconstruction era. These laws were written in order to unfairly punish poor blacks for the pettiest of crimes and to recreate the slave state by funneling blacks into jails where they could be once again forced into labor.
So, with that said, all right, hedge trimmers, looks like your average hedge trimmers running around, say $90, all right? So $90. So he tried to steal 3. So $300, all right? $300, 20 years. $300, 20 years. Come on, man. I'm just saying, come on, man. Let's be for real. Like, what are we doing here? Meanwhile, white boys go wild. People scared, running. Folks was falling around them trying to get away from them because they thought it was real danger. What happens? Nothing. Just a nice little stern talking to from your neighborhood officer. It's funny style. It's been funny style, but I just thought this was an interesting story, especially since they were timed so close to each other. I thought it was interesting. Let's see, Tay-Tay 1990 says, white supremacy and white privilege at its finest with our justice system. Also said, I'm not surprised by this at all. It's the Deep South. True that, but let's not forget, I'm not trying to give the Deep South any props. But let's not forget, Eric Garner did not happen in the Deep South. You know what I'm saying? Eric Garner did not happen in the Deep South at all. So, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep that in mind too. But yeah, I was like, hedge trimmers, 20 years? Were they made out of diamonds? But let it roll. You know what I'm saying? We're going to let that roll. Because we got one more thing I want to get into. You know what I'm saying? It's an easy, light Friday afternoon. You know, we ain't gonna hold you too long. We ain't gonna harm you too much. Your boy Joe Beasy. Candidate Joe Biden, also known as former Vice President Joe Biden. You know, he was with President Barack Obama. You know what I'm saying? The president everybody knows and loves. All right. How bad could he be? He must be great. Shoot, he was Barack Obama's vice president. His candidacy and his presidency must be exactly like Barack Obama's. It should be a shoo-in, right? Should be a slam dunk. Well, it seems like Joe Biden is still trying to lose on purpose. Because he had a comment at the NABJ and I believe the NHJ or NAHJ, where he was National Association for Black Journalists and the National Association for, I believe, Hispanic Journalists. But he made a comment that people thought was interesting. His comment states, "What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community with incredibly different attitudes about different things," Biden said in the interview. He continued saying, "You go to Florida, you find different attitudes about immigration in certain places than you do when you're in Arizona. So it's a very different and very diverse community." So people heard that and were like, "Oh, are you trying to say that black people aren't diverse? Because black people are not a monolith. And actually, the reason you're struggling with your campaign is because you're finding that out firsthand on your own." So, of course, it kicks up some dust, as it should. And he comes back and says, "Throughout my career, I've witnessed the diversity of thought, background, and sentiment within the African American community. It's this diversity that makes our workplaces, communities, and country a better place." Then he continued to say, "My commitment to you is this. I will always listen." Okay. One, I will always listen. I will never stop fighting for the African American community. It's number 2. And number 3, I will never stop fighting for a more equitable future. Man, that sounds good, don't it? Sounds great. It's like, yo, I messed up by saying y'all ain't diverse and saying y'all are basically all the same. Y'all all think the same. Y'all all act the same. Y'all all feel the same way about everything. And then turn around after we was like, yeah, you mad wrong. Then turned around and was like, "My commitment to you is this. Number 1, I will always listen." Well, I guess he did listen, or somebody listened, because, you know, he had to make this statement and try to clean it up. And then he said, "I will never stop fighting for the African American community." Now, I do have a question on number 2. In the chat, because you know I don't see everything. You know I don't see everything. I'm human, you human, we don't all see everything. Could you let me know when he started fighting for the African American community? Because see, you have to start fighting for it to never stop. You know what I'm saying? Like Puff Daddy said, "I thought I told you that we won't stop," because he had already started. So I'm trying to figure out where he started fighting for the African American community. Because if you could tell me where he started, I could be like, oh, okay, cool. Number 2 makes sense. But I don't think he ever started. One would say that he never even cared about black thought, black plight, black pain, black journey, black voices at all. to even start fighting for them in the first place. But number 3 says, and I will never stop fighting for a more equitable future. For who? African Americans? Because I haven't seen that fight. Maybe you have, you know what I'm saying? People might be in the comment. Y'all might be watching this right now, be like, nah, man, Joe Biden has fought so hard for black people, and list off like 4 or 5 things that he has done that has showed that he has been a soldier in the army, fighting hard for black people's rights. Not all people's rights, where black people get a little something due to it. Black people's rights only, by themselves, singularly, something only for black folks. You know, if you wanted to say that you were fighting for black folks, you could reference something that black folks have been asking for quite some time. And I would like to say that thing would be reparations. Instead of the Biden crime bill, which he did write, which didn't really help us out at all. And when I say at all, I mean at all. And when I say at all, I mean super at all. But, you know, I could be tripping. So let me go to the chat. Y'all probably, I haven't looked at the chat yet. The chat, I'm pretty sure y'all in the chat like, nah, NERDSoul, you wrong. Shoot, Biden been fighting for all kinds of black folks, and I'm gonna list all the reasons right here. So Jenna James says, wow, this fool Biden, bruh. Yeah, this is pretty much it. And then Arkham O, shout out to Arkham O, nice to see you up in here, says, does he not realize Florida and Arizona throw in TX2 are filled with Stacey Dash / Terry Crews like Republican-minded Latinos? Yes, because that's another thing. Well, I'm going to get to that in a second, but thank you. I'm going to stay on that point in a second. Tay1990 said, Biden is going to lose this election. I'm going to come back to that comment too. Jamal Lee says, Biden wrote the 3-strike bill. Yes. So let's go with Arkamo first. Said, does he not realize Florida and Arizona throw TX2 are filled with Stacey Dash / Terry Crews like Republican-minded Latinos? Here's why I think he said it in the first place. Biden is well aware that he is not going to get the black vote, or not a chunk of the black vote. I think he's well aware of that. I think he's well aware that there are many black people that have called him on his stuff, and he is not going to acknowledge it. He's going to pretend that it doesn't exist, and therefore he knows he's not going to get that vote. So what he thinks he's going to do is convert the Latino vote to overshadow the black vote in his favor. Here's where he makes his mistake, though. Tons of Latinos are walking around considering themselves white. Y'all ain't want to hear that one. I've known in my life's passings, white Latinos that mark white on their census, mark white when they apply for jobs, mark white in schools. So he ain't gonna get the Latino vote like he think he gonna get the Latino vote. Latinx, because I know somebody gonna come in here and say, you didn't say Latinx and you don't care about whatever it is. Nah, get out of here. And like, you just trying to be offended, whatever. So with this, he thinks, oh, well, shoot, black people ain't up on this. I'm going to go over to the Latinx group. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get all they love. The only thing is, a whole lot of them are white Latinx and are operating in America as white Latinx and actually believe themselves to be white, or at least white adjacent, which means in a lot of cases, they are very Republican, not because they're so conservative, but because Republicans help reestablish and reaffirm the things that help them feel white. And the Democrats don't do it enough. Democrats still don't care about black people. But see, Republicans let you feel good about not caring about black people. So that's one. Then to go into Tay 1990 said, Biden is going to lose this election. Here's my thing about this. I venture to let me get Conspiracy P out here. Shouts to Parker Lewis. PL Parker Lewis got a new album called From Dog to God Part 3. Y'all need to check him out. PL Parker Lewis with a Z. I got a theory and a conspiracy that Biden isn't trying to win the election. He's trying to throw it so that your boy DT get another term. I'm just saying. Nope, nobody is this dumb in a campaign, son. I'm just saying. Dude's really dude's trying. So I would argue that this is being done intentionally to throw it intentionally. But slide that to the side. Big shout out to Jenna James. Said, still don't know how he won the vote over Bernie and Yang. And then said, facts, they deep in here, my home state in Texas and Cali, and NYC got quite a few of them white-minded Latinos too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're not playing. You have a whole bunch of Latinx community operating as if they're white and they just keep it moving. They ain't interested in no problems for some brown or black Latinx people. And that is super real. And because they're like, look, we still consider ourselves European. Look at our skin. Our skin is fair. Their skin is not, which means that they have the blood of African slaves in them. And I don't. And that's how they carry it. They probably ain't going to cop to it or admit to it, but that's how they get down. And that's fine. That's your community. Y'all do your thing. I'm just telling Joe Biden and his team, because they watch the show, it might not work out how you think. Kiwi23, what up? Yeah, this is live. Shouts to Arkham O. Say it's usually the older Spanish folk, the conservative Catholics, not all, but most. Yo, look, let me put you on to something, Arkham. Yo. Don't let people fool you with being like, oh, it's all the old people. Trust me, if the old people were the ones keeping racism and all that stuff going, whether you Latino or Asian or white or whatever, trust me, racism would sooner or later just diminish like a flickering flame. No, there's a whole bunch of the youth buying into that mess. Because them old people are teaching their kids something. They're teaching them something. Trust me. I know we would love to think that, oh, it's only the old people. The old people, the ones that's wrong, and we right. Nah, bruh. There's a whole bunch of young 15, 18, 20, 25, 30, a whole bunch of young 35, a whole bunch of young people that's standing around like, I'm white. And it's like, well, nah, aren't you Latinx? I'm white. And I'm going to be white at my job, so get out my face. I'm just letting you know. I know it's nice to, in your mind, you be like, y'all, it's the old people, son. It ain't always the old people. Jenna James says, I believe that theory at this point with what Biden spews on the daily. Yeah, it's like that dude trying to lose, man. Him and DT be texting each other like, yo, man, I got you. Wait, I'm gonna make the black people mad again. Hold up. And that's how he do. Jenna James says, nah, it's the youngest too. Shouts to Tate. Oh, VV in the house. What up, VV? Tate 1990 says, I believe your theory at this point showing, yo, it's a shoe-in for your boy DT. DT about to steal the election. He already said, I said this way back. I said, watch your boy DT use this pandemic to stay in office longer. He already talking about, yo, look, I don't want no mail-in voting. We need to push back the election if need be. Also, he's also cutting funds from different postal services so that postal service runs slower, meaning that you can be voting by mail and your mail get there way after the vote is counted. Bruh, look, he got this on lock. I'm just letting you know, if you were expecting for some gargantuan change in November, don't get your hopes up. I like it. I'm sure you'd like it too. I'm just letting you know, don't get your hopes up because it could be detrimental to you. You know, Shouts out to VV, said plenty of young folk keeping the racism and coloring thing going in Latinx. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. You know what I'm saying? Because it works for them. Imagine it. Imagine this. Depending on your skin tone, especially the closer you are to whiteness, man, this thing is working out great. I mean, imagine that. Imagine you got power or some type of perceived power where there is a group of people that are always seen as below you just for the fact that they exist. And that there are so many items that are available to you and not to them just for the fact that they exist. Do you know how awesome that is? Do you know how great that is to be on the side of adjacent to whiteness or whiteness? Sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? So you walking around just living it up. So you think they gonna let that go? Do you think they gonna... I'd wager that there's a lot of people that's on social talking that revolutionary mess, like, we need to stop this racism and colorism. Oh, they saying that to be seen. They don't want this stuff to stop. If someone was to say, all right, now you have to compete on equal footing with black people for everything. Anyone darker than you for everything. For beauty standards, for finances, for education, for judicial system, all that, you have to compete equally. Do you know how many tears, not only white tears, but white Asian tears and white Latinx tears too? There'd be a whole lot of them rolling. So I'm just letting you know, there's a whole bunch of people that benefit greatly. Man, like, yo, we got this going like we want. But this protest stuff is hot in the streets, so I gotta be trendy, ride the wave. But I kind of like things how they are. Oh, man. Shouts. Kibi23 says, right, preach. So all them family values just disappeared. Vivi says Biden need to not talk until November 4th. Yo, man, he'd still mess it up then, y'all. He wake up that morning and say something stupid. He wake up and say something dumb. I'm sure he is. Arkham O says, usually the ones that have a military background or something much like it. Word, makes sense. And Tay 1990 says exactly, they do not want to truly compete. They need that privilege and that racism intact to get ahead and stay ahead. Like, I mean, let's look at it from this perspective. White supremacy has been in the fabric of America before the Constitution and then written and woven into the Constitution. So much so that their schools have gotten more funding, or the areas where their schools are, neighborhoods, loans, business loans, access to housing, access to fair housing practices. Let's not forget about that. Meaning if you're renting, your access to fair practices, just because your landlord will be like, oh, this is a good white family, so I'm not going to throw them out on their butt the second they're late on a payment or something like that. I'll work it out with them. They're working hard, trying to get by. Meanwhile, black family, one day late on the payment, I think we might have to evict this guy. His family is trouble. So it's pile that on with redistricting, redlining, incarceration, schooling, finance, and rinse and repeat over and over and over, until the point where you have someone who grows up thinking, I'm not racist. I work hard just like everyone else. And I pull my bootstraps up, and I can't believe this person thinks they just deserve this. And next thing you know, you're like, oh, yeah, you and I don't really get along because you kind of like this system how it is. Like, you don't want anything to change. You actually like how things are going. Because now what you get to do, since you've, had this privilege, is be like, oh, well, everybody can you just don't want to be rich hard enough. You don't want a house bad enough. You don't want to not go to jail bad enough. So you get that kind of pervasive thinking. But last up, I'll say Hassan comes through. What up, Hassan? Nice to see you. Says, unpopular truth. Biden is right. Panama, Cuba, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, Dominican Republic, Colombia, Peru. These are all different communities and have totally different interests. Yeah, but you're talking about different countries that aren't here. Now, if you want to talk about Peruvians being here in America, you'd have to run that test. But just saying he's right, just to say he's right, doesn't particularly make him right. Because I would say that there's black people with different interests, even in this chat. There might be someone like me that says, hey, this is more important than this. And a black person from Chicago or a black person from Montana or a black person from Indiana might say, no, this is more important than that. We have common goals, just like Latinx people have common goals. But to treat people as if there's no diversity among them, either A, we have to say black people are a monolith and let it go, or B, say, nah, we're not a monolith, never have been. You just wanted to treat us as a monolith. That doesn't mean we are. So I'd argue against that and say that Brazilian people, they might think different than Argentinians, but do they think different than the Argentinians that are here enjoying the American systemized racism that they sit in? Because it's different if you're talking about just different people from different countries. But once they're here, say a generation or two, I don't know if they'd be any more or less diverse than we are. So, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that they aren't diverse, but to say that, no, we are diverse and just as diverse, if not a little more or less than they are. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work, at least in Biden's favor, to do something like this or say something like this, unless he wants to go with the monolith thing, which makes sense because he treats us as a monolith. But I don't know if I'd say that they're more diverse or they're diverse and we aren't. Alchemo says exactly. For example, I don't necessarily agree with the whole homeschooling thing, but I agree with NERDSoul common overall goal. Yeah, because like for instance, everybody can't homeschool. Some people just can't. But I do think that it's something that we should at least consider, because if we don't consider it, then you'll never know. Like there might be someone sitting at home and like, man, I'm against homeschooling. It's whack, blah, blah, blah. But they've never really researched it. So maybe they might not know. And like this thing tomorrow could be like, oh, homeschooling is easier than I thought. And I think over the last 9 weeks of the last school year, a lot of black parents realized homeschooling isn't as hard as I thought it would be. And it's not as crazy as I thought it would be. And even with that, there's not only you having to homeschool your child, there's associations like the RBG Academy that teach multiple children, like they do like charter schools and things of that nature. Or you can do a co-op where, say, you're in a neighborhood and two parents are actually teaching and the rest of the parents are working. So everyone's not homeschooling their own individual child. You can have a co-op where there's 3 people that stay at home and homeschool like 7 or 8 kids instead of everyone staying at home. So there's different ways to do it. But my main thing, which I think is at least should be considered, is we got to get them out of this system because we know this system ain't working. So we got to get them out some type of way. And especially when you're talking about how they teach slavery and other things, it's like they need some help. But yes, he's right. You know what I'm saying? You might, somebody in the chat might be like, well, our main thing needs to be about marijuana. And for me, I'm not super, I don't really have a dog in that fight. So not saying that I don't care, but I'm kind of indifferent about it. So that would mean that we have a diverse view on that, because I might be like, well, you know, I guess, yeah, weed is cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't smoke it, I don't sell it. but people that are looking to get into that industry, and based on the fact of how white boys are coming in and taking advantage of another industry that was essentially built on the backs of the black market and incarcerated black men right now. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so back to Hassan said, I get your points. In this case, Florida is different from Texas and Arizona, but North Carolina or California, but he's only talking about Latino. Yeah, well, yeah, I feel him on the Latinos, but he kind of roped us in a way where he didn't have to. He didn't have to rope in black people. He could have just been like, yo, y'all diverse. And that would have flew. Black people wouldn't have said nothing. We'd be like, yo, all right, he said they diverse, whatever. But it's like he had to use black people as a whipping boy, as a way to at least admire or support or prop up another group, which is what I have a problem with. But yeah. So with that said, guys, we almost at time. We looking good. We had a decent long show, not too crazy. Didn't hold y'all too long. You know what I'm saying? Not too long, not too short. And you guys made it. It's been another wonderful, awesome week. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, I hope it's been a great week for y'all. Yo, we gotta keep on moving, keep on pushing. But with that said, big shout out to RBG Academy. If you have time, check out the Zoom tomorrow. I will also throw it right back into the chat if I can find it for you guys. Because if anyone has any friends that are looking into homeschooling or are interested in how homeschooling might work, you know what I'm saying? Because some people might be like, well, I've thought about it, but I'm not sure. These people are here to actually like break down like, yo, if you want to do it or find a way to do it, you know, away from, you know, like yourself, like set up a co-op, or there's people that come home from work and then, you know, homeschool their children in the afternoons and evenings and stuff like that. So those opportunities are there. Here's the link for the Blacticum. It's tomorrow, basically showing the curriculum. And guys, check it out. Also, big shout out to everyone in the chat. Oh, snap. Thai City with the super chat. What up? Thank you. 10 G's in the chat. Here is the email. I'll put the email right here so you guys can like copy and paste it if y'all need to. But yes, it's hello@ThatNERDSoul.com. So you can check it out there. Go on and email me, holla at a player. It might be easier to DM me, but email, whatever you need to do, holla at a player, I'll holla back in a semi-timely manner. So to the chat, big shout out to Cooley High, Tay 1990, Jamal Lee, Markeith Collins, Moses. Let's see, we got Moses in the chat, Jamal in the chat, Alan Lewis in the chat. Let's see, Jenna James in the chat. We had VV in the chat, Hassan in the chat. Who else rolled through? We had KB23. Yeah, I think that might be it. That might be it. Or Arkham O. What up, Arkham O? Joe Cool. He said, I'm just waiting for the slip up to say the N-word. He gonna say it sooner or later. But what he'll do is Joe Biden will say it, but what he'll do is he'll say it during the song. So then he can be like your girl. What's your girl from? She was on that CW show. Like, oh no, I just really love the music. So, you know, he'll be like, nah, y'all understand. Jay-Z's bars are so hard. We'll be like, Joe Biden, we know Jay-Z's bars. You stop it. So what he'll do is try to hide it in a rap song and he'll drop it. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Thai City and big shout out to Hassan. I might have said Hassan already, but if not, if I already said, you got a double shout out. Anyway, with that said, guys, thank you for rolling through. Lady Lisa, say peace. She said, I love y'all. Peace, y'all. NERDSoulite, say peace. So, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. What is it? Podcast, Spotify, All them joints, holler play, hit that thumbs up. If you like what you're seeing, hit that thumbs down. But if you hit that thumbs down, I'm going to send Joe Biden after you. And it's not going to be pretty. Because that dude going to talk to you for a long time and still ain't going to say nothing. Even when you ask him a direct question, he going to take you around the block. You ain't never going to get back. So, much love to all y'all. I'm leaving y'all with Arcatron, who has the Space Bridge out now in stores. Joint is on point. It's hot. It's blazing. Y'all need to go get it. Also, big shout out to Anwar Highsign with the Fleece album out. The EP Fleece out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want it with my crew. You know what I'm saying? So check those joints out. But for right now, much love to the one and only Arcatron. I will leave y'all with him. He is dope. From us to you, we're just saying peace. Peace. Show him that Captain America, boy. Show him Captain America. Show him. Peace, y'all. Yeah.